All right. G'day, Mohammed. How you going?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, but just give me a second, guys. In chat, did you hear me talking for the last minute or so? Because I don't think I wasn't even in the room. I don't know if.
Well, I've had a bit of fun logging in. Still a bit confused.
Yeah, I think I was talking to myself for about a minute because I wasn't even in the bloody room. So, oh my God! All right, sorry. Let's start again. Good morning, everyone in the United States. I know it's early. We might have to do another time for you guys because it's a bit early, 5 a.m., whatever. Good morning, everyone. Oh, sorry, good afternoon, UK, Europe, and once again our guest, Mohammed, and Australians. Good evening, Pyman. So anyway, yeah.
So how many are on? Is it just the two of us, or have we got a few others?
Well, oh, hang on, we got someone. We got Nikki. Device is not connected. What's that mean? Don't know if you can hear me, Mickey, but you need to connect your devices. Or let him sort that out. So, yeah, you didn't see you last week. We had another two guys on. Don't know if you saw the show. Did you?
Yeah, I did actually. I did see it, and there were good lads that were on. I think they were both from England, weren't they? You know.
Oh, hang on. Let me mute this. Yeah, sorry, go on. Yep, yeah, they were.
Yeah, so I mean, you're still not getting your audience is shy for some reason. I don't know what's up with them. You know, you've got thousands of subs, but they don't want to come on. But anyway, it's your Patreons that you want on.
Well, yeah, well, I know they're going to be genuine people because if I just had this open slather, you get all the the D heads and who knows what. And
exactly.
If you're gonna, I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
At least it's guaranteed. It's not even guaranteed even that way because you can.
I saw your. I don't know when you posted it, but obviously there's a time difference. So I saw your video from this morning where you're in the garden, and I can sense your frustration in your voice, obviously with everything, with how things are going.
Oh wow. Yeah, hang on. I just introduced Mickey. Hang on. Mickey, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
All right. Oh, not another pub.
Where are you, Mickey?
Birmingham, Mohammed. Hi, how you doing?
Good, excellent.
Birmingham. I think the other guy last week, Louis, the one that all the girls fancied. I think he was from Birmingham. I'm not sure. Can you?
No, he was Middlesbrough.
Oh, Middlesbrough, right. Okay. Oh, Tracy, can you come on, Tracy? How are you? There's another. I think she's in United Kingdom and she's having cancer problems. I want to hear a story. But anyway, yeah. Sorry, Mickey. Yeah. Just before I get to you, regards what you said, Mohammed. Yeah. Of course, I was frustrated because it's really when I say there's shit's hitting the fan here in not Australia but in Melbourne, Victoria. You don't know, we're the guinea pig state of the world, and like I've mentioned before, I'll mention it again that we've been scripted to actually have low death rates and low cases, and we've come into winter. This is like June is the first month of winter, and we've been scripted to get more cases and more testing, blah, blah, blah. And it's all for the second wave shit. So, our premier's knocked back the restrictions and we've going backwards. And that's all the plan to drag this bullshit on and on and on until the vaccine comes out, as they say. But we'll get on to that later.
Peekay, you weren't sure about the vaccine last time, mate. So, you said to me they can't push the vaccine on us, and now you changed your view in a week.
I didn't actually say that. I was worried that they could. I mean, we don't know. We don't know, but I think it's the main agenda to all this, as well as full control. That to have the vaccine is going to give them full control if they put the RFID microchip in it. But anyway, we'll get back to that. Mickey, tell us about yourself, mate.
All right, mate. Yeah, living in Birmingham in the UK. I'm a nurse, but I don't work in a hospital. Haven't done for many a year. I woke up fully 2017, particularly after the Westminster Bridge attack. Been following you since about then.
Wow. So what do you think about these knife attacks on bridges in England, London, wherever? There was one a few days ago. I can't be bothered looking at it.
Wasn't that Westminster? Sorry, that Westminster attack wasn't 20 odd years ago, though, was it? It was only
2017.
Oh, sorry. But you said you woke up. When did you wake up?
Well, it had been leading up to that event in 2017, and then that event was like a bit of a brick in the face for me. And I've been following you, Peter, since just before then, because I was watching your videos on Jimmy, what's his face, Jimmy Donuts. Been watching that, and we haven't really heard about that story in the UK. And then Westminster happened, and I was watching that unfold on the telly, and that was it. Yeah. There were certain things that I saw in that event that I just thought, nah, this is bollocks.
Yeah.
What about the stuff before that, like Boston and Sandy Hook? What were your feelings there?
I hadn't heard of Sandy Hook until I found your channel. I've never been a big news watcher. Boston happened while I was on holiday in Egypt. So that was 2012, was it? Boston Marathon?
13.
2013, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was in Egypt actually, and we just heard it word of mouth. Obviously, I was sound asleep then. I just thought if it's on the news, it's real.
Wow. I just had a comment.
And then obviously I've watched your Boston videos, which. What?
You have watched my Boston videos, have you?
Say again, mate?
You have watched the Boston videos.
I have watched your Boston videos. Yeah, brilliant.
Have you seen the trilogy?
I mean, that again. Yeah. The brown cow.
Brown cow. Yeah. I've made her famous. I've put her name in lights. Yeah, just for anyone that hasn't seen my Boston trilogy, get onto archive.org and just search Boston Trouser Bomb or something like that. It's actually on.
Can I add in there, Mickey? Obviously, you woke up a few years ago, but now that since you've woken up, you see more and more, don't you? Everything you see, you question it.
Everything's a line. It's got worse over the last few months with this corona virus, because before it wasn't really affecting me. Do you know what I mean? Things would happen and I'd see it and go, well, it's bollocks. I'm one of these auto deniers. If I see it on the telly, it's bollocks. Excuse my language.
No, you can go stronger than bollocks, mate.
No. I forgot what I was saying.
Mickey, can I just say, you said it's affected you. Can you tell us in what way has it affected you?
Well, like it's affected everybody. Reduced work hours, no at one point. And there's people going around thinking it's brilliant. In the UK, they're staying at home, getting paid 80% of their wages, up to £2,500, or they were, and they think it's brilliant. And they just can't see the bigger picture. They just cannot see the bigger picture. Now, of course, with the terror attacks, it wasn't really affecting me directly because I could look at it on the telly and think, okay, more.
Yeah.
You made a good point there.
This is affecting me.
Hang on, you're frozen, mate. Yeah, you made a great point there. Regards, a lot of people are even happy about it because they're getting a payout without working and sitting at home. And There's a lot of people in that.
Idiots. They can't see what's coming.
That's a very good point, and that's why they've probably done this on purpose to please people and not to sort of get upset and just follow the directions and whatever. Very good point.
It's
where's
the
all this money
usual
coming from?
narrative.
Yeah, but you notice how
It's the
even Australia and Britain, and not sure about America, they all had that prepared. The what do you call it? The stimulus package. That doesn't take 2 or 3 days or a week or two to get ready.
No.
But that was virtually all. They all had it ready. That was all planned. 6, 8, 10 months, year, whatever. But anyway, so.
But that's all peanuts in comparison to what they've been giving their mates in the banks and these big multi-billion-dollar companies. There's been a lot of money it's been creamed. The cream's been taken off the top. I don't know whether you're aware of what's been going on. Obviously, they've given pennies to us paupers, but there's been a lot of stealth money that's been taken off.
You're right. But even a small amount like the paupers are getting, that they feel that's a great amount,
Well, it is for the time being, but I mean, that's not going to continue forever. And even if it does continue forever, it's going to
they'll want it. They will want it back. This isn't the end of it. They will want it back in some way, and I think they will justify it with increased taxes and less spending on services.
You know how it's going to really happen, though? It's that they're going to create hyperinflation, which is really a stealth tax. So wealth is going to be robbed in that way. We won't see it directly, but because everything's going to get expensive, it's a stealth tax.
Sure. Oh yeah. But people can't see this. It's always a short term. They're not seeing the long term. Peter, just to let you know, I am at work at the moment. I'm on a lunch break, so I'm fine. But somebody might just come in and want to speak to me. But just to let you know. But I'm on lunch, so it should all be good.
Get them on the show. I'll speak to them. And
No.
No?
You want to keep? I need this job.
You want to keep your job? All right.
I want to keep my job. Yeah.
So what is your job, mate?
So I don't want to say too much about it. I'm a nurse.
You did say that.
Yeah,
you don't look like a nurse.
No. A lot of people say that. I work in private assessments. I don't want to say too much about it, but at the moment, we're doing a lot of telephone work with people, ringing people up with chronic disabilities and conditions. And I'm speaking to people that are not getting the hospital treatment that they need. More people are dying. Okay, more people are dying. I've spoken to people, ordinary people that have said, yeah, more people are dying, but I don't believe it's due to any kind of virus.
Can I ask?
People are not.
Are these people that you know of, or is it just word of mouth?
Which ones? Who?
The people that are dying, are they people that you know of, or is it word of mouth?
You're breaking up, mate.
I don't know.
Could you say that again? You broke up.
You know the people that you say are passing away, that are dying? Hello?
Yeah.
Are they people that you know?
Yeah.
Or is it just what you've heard from the grapevine?
No, I'll give you one example. During the lockdown, I was off work. I went out for a walk and I got talking to a lady. She just struck up a conversation. It was great because she wasn't asked about social distancing or anything. It was brilliant. It was a normal conversation. And it turned out she worked for funeral directors. And I said, well, how's it all this? And she said, it's gone absolutely mad. They're 3 times busier than normal. So things like that, do you know what I mean? And she was just passing the time of day with me. I've got no reason to disbelieve her. No reason to disbelieve. She had no agenda. I asked her out straight, and she said, yeah, no, more people are dying. And I asked about the death certificates as well. She said, all COVID, all COVID.
Well, that's
dying of anything else.
interesting point you bring up, because I've got a couple of stories that I can relate to this as well. You know, when you say they're all COVID, I'll give you an example, which I've experienced myself, people that I know. A few weeks ago, a friend of mine, his dad passed away. And this old guy, his dad, was 103 years old. Okay, so he was on his last legs anyway. All right, you know, he was elderly. He was being taken care of at home. The guy suffered a heart attack, and they called the ambulance. The ambulance comes. They take him away to hospital. He subsequently passes away, and on the death certificate they put down COVID.
It's happening everywhere, Mohammed. It's happening everywhere.
You know, that's the honest truth. I've seen it myself.
Do you know if he was actually seen by a doctor and certified dead by a doctor in person, if you like?
I don't know that. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that. I'll give you another example, a personal experience of mine. A friend of a friend who lives in Italy. This is a few months ago now, when it first started off. The husband gets a flu or whatever, okay, and they're worried because of all this COVID shit that's going on. So they ring the ambulance people. They come along in their hazmat suit, okay, in their white suits with the masks. Exactly. This is in Italy, okay, exactly. And the wife, and anyway, what they do is they wrap him up in some plastic sheets, so it looks really bad and serious. His wife, upon seeing that, she gets sick. She actually vomits, and she gets the diarrhea due to the shock. So she ends up in hospital as well.
She goes in, yeah,
as well as him. They're in different wards. But I don't know how they treated her or what happened. She died. Right? She died. She had nothing. She had no symptoms, nothing, okay? And the guy that actually had the flu subsequently survives, and he's back out. So that's a personal experience that I can tell you as well.
Was he diagnosed with COVID? Was he tested for COVID?
I don't know that.
The guy.
I don't know that.
Isn't it interesting? A year ago, if that guy had have come down with the flu, he wouldn't have phoned an ambulance. He'd have gone,
exactly.
Flu.
Because people are worried. They think, oh my God, I've got this plague or whatever it is.
And this is what people are doing now. I mean, I've had one dose of flu in my life in 2010, and I'm a fit guy. It wiped me out, and the wife. It wiped us both out for a week, and we just said, "This is the flu. We'll take to our bed for a week," and we rode it out, and we were okay.
Best thing to do.
That happens to somebody now. They think, "Oh fuck, I've got this horrible,
I'm gonna ring the doctor.
lung-ravaging disease."
Yeah.
Mick, I just want to go back to your funeral funeral friend.
Yes,
you said she had no agenda. Then straight away she said they were all COVID-19. Well, I think she has got an agenda, and working for a funeral company has obviously been told you got to play the game with us if you want to keep your job. So if anyone ever talks to you, bumps into you, just tell the story and mention COVID-19, because why would she know they were all COVID-19 anyway?
She said she sees the death certificates. I'm not sure what her exact. She had kids with her, so it was difficult to talk about these things. She had young children with her. I didn't want to upset them or anything. But I said, "Oh, do you see the death certificates?" And she said, "Yes," and they all say COVID-19. Again, I can only go by the interaction with her. She seemed very genuine. I don't know. You could be right. I don't know.
Did she say there were other underlying health conditions apart from COVID-19 on the death certificate?
She didn't say otherwise.
You should have questioned it.
Generally, it's as far as I know, it's one diagnosis, COVID. But the reason I asked Mohammed about whether the certifying doctor in the example he gave, I've read that during the pandemic, contingency plans is that a doctor doesn't have to visually see the patient to certify the death. They can do it via video link to protect both the doctor's health and the doctor's time. So you're getting death certificates written potentially when the doctor's not there. How true that is, I don't know. I don't work in a hospital.
But wouldn't you agree, though, that they're actually manipulating the figures, though, by doing that?
Yes. They've told us this. Patrick Valance has told us this. Peekay's done videos on it. They've told us this.
Yeah. They are telling us.
They're telling us this.
Yep. In UK, in America, they've come out and told us anything that people are dying from, they're going to put COVID-19 on it. And just going back, there are the people who actually, do the death certificates and put heart attack or whatever. They're being, the next day, others are interfering with those certificates and adding on COVID-19. So it doesn't matter if you had all these, because every article you can read, they always put in underlying health conditions. If someone dies, they had underlying health conditions. That's like a disclaimer, knowing that when the shit hits the fan, they go, oh, well, we know he died from a heart attack, but we tested him positive, and we put him out as COVID as well, which is absolute nonsense.
Going back to my earlier point, I do think more people are dying, but it's purely because they're not getting the treatment they need. I'm speaking to people with cancer who are not getting the referrals they need. They're not getting the surgery that they need. There's something like, last time I looked, 600 million outstanding operations in the UK, or some ridiculous figure like that. Of course, more people are going to die.
But that's not what they're telling us. Every time you turn on the news or whatever, it's cases this, cases that. But there's never a mention of people who died or dying from, suicide. The suicide numbers that must be going, over the top,
They will do. If they're not already, they will do.
They're not adding that up. They don't want people to know that. They want to keep that as quiet as possible. Because if that was coming out, hang on, what's this lockdown shit doing to us all? Hang on. They have to keep that quiet. They're just going to pump out cases, and that's the only freaking word we're hearing. Millions of cases. I just want to ask you another thing. Wearing masks there, what's the situation?
It's a useful indicator for spotting a dickhead.
I've heard today in Washington, D.C., they're making it mandatory. And I'm hearing here, I saw a news report yesterday, some dickhead in England is telling whoever that it's ridiculous how all Australians aren't wearing masks. I mean, what?
Yeah, it's pushing 30 degrees here. I know that's probably not very hot to you in Australia, but it's pushing 30 degrees centigrade.
Yeah.
And there's people wandering around in the fresh air on their own with masks on. It's utterly, so we've got to wear them on public transport. But I actually watched it's mandatory now, but I did watch a good video by a guy called Bobby Zines, who took 4 train journeys in one day without wearing a mask. I think he said he was only challenged a couple of times, and he just said, I've got my medical health prevents me from wearing one. And he was fully prepared, if he was challenged further, to say, well, I'm a human being and my health will deteriorate if I wear a mask. But nobody challenged him any further. So,
all right, I get on one of your trains, which is pretty, I don't know how crowded they are. I'm not wearing a mask amongst everyone else. Everyone else is wearing a mask. Who is going to come and question me about wearing a mask?
Well, the self-policing. It could be other passengers. It could be train staff. But like you're insinuating, is that their job?
Did you guys see that video that's been going around where this old guy walks into Walmart in America and he gets stopped by this? No, it's on another channel, and I think it's fake. Really, he goes in and this security guy or whatever, twice the size of him, trying to stop him, and they're having a tussle. and this a little old guy, and it's been all over the net. I'm surprised, Peekay, you've missed that one. Saying that you've got to wear a mask to go into Walmart. So whether it's fake or not, I can see it coming along everywhere eventually. Boris,
go back to the train. I'll finish that off. I'm on the train. I've gone a few stations, and one of these guys walks on. I've paid my fare. What's he going to do? He can't find me. He's not a cop. Is he going to throw me off the train? What's the go?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think you can just say you've got a medical condition and they'll leave you alone.
And what is a mask? Is there a definition? I could just put a bloody shoestring across here. Does that mean it's a mask? Is there a legal definition of a freaking mask? I could put a woman's G-string on. Is that a mask? I mean, come on. Who could force you to wear a mask? And what if the whole carriage decides not to wear a mask? Are they going to throw it all off?
This is what it's going to take, but there's not enough people to do that.
I know.
The people are sheep, mate. They said it's a face covering that's got to cover the nose and the mouth. But so many people I've seen wearing them just on the chin to keep their chin COVID free, and they're not even covering the nose or mouth. Have you seen this, Malvin? It's just covering the chin. That's
the other thing you see about the video I'm on about. I'll probably send you a link, Peter, later on, okay? The guy that's trying to stop this elderly guy, his mask's down here. He's just about covering his mouth. So, I mean, that's the irony of it all. His nose is exposed. It's just silly. And then they've got other staff walking around without masks in the same video. So
have you noticed even the early days of Donald Trump and his cronies? None of them wore a mask. None of them practiced social distancing. The police everywhere never wore masks. But in the last month, every one of them is wearing a mask. And I believe, obviously, that's a subliminal message to everyone around the world. We got to wear a mask. This thing's real. And they've really sort of pumped it up.
They're doing it stage by stage, step by step. Anyone who thinks we're going to get out of this lockdown fully and in a couple of months it's going to be back to normal, they're living on Mars. I'm telling you, they're delusional. This is long term now.
Have you been to a train station recently, Mohammed?
No, I haven't, no.
My missus went to Grand Central the other week in Birmingham. It's the biggest, or it was the biggest train station outside of London. And she showed me the pictures. She took pictures, and all the changes there look pretty permanent. All the markings, all the signs, the fucking dozy, fucking dispensers.
Exactly.
It all looks pretty permanent. It doesn't look like it's going to come down in 5 minutes.
I'll tell you something, guys. I think this is going to be going on for many, many years. And I personally don't think they're going to come up with any vaccine yet, because if they come up with a vaccine, there's no more problem. There's no cause for them to control and manipulate and oppress people.
Unless the only addition, I agree, but the only additional thing to that is if they keep saying, well, this is a virus, and it mutates, so you need to keep having. Yes, you have your vaccine, but then you need to keep having boosters, and we'd still better, keep our distance and all of that.
Yeah.
I can see that as well. So you won't just have one vaccine, you won't just have one injection, you'll need regular boosters.
Yearly or whatever. Yeah. By the way, the social distancing thing, Boris Johnson yesterday said that I think they've reduced it.
1 meter plus.
But I think the next step is you've got to wear a mask though. That's what I've heard. I haven't looked into it properly. They reduce the social distancing, but you have to wear a mask.
I'll ask you the question. If the masks work, why need social distancing? If social distancing works, why do you need a mask? If they both work, why is all the economy's gone down the tube and everyone's lives have been fucked up if they both supposedly work?
They don't work. We know that. It's bollocks. There is no virus anyway.
Yeah, no.
And a mask isn't going to stop a virus.
And I'll just explain what you said before about the vaccines. obviously that is the number one agenda. Like I said, the pandemic, they couldn't, have this first wave that all of a sudden ended. That's why they had this flattening the curve to drag it on. Because if they ended it, like any other disease, we go mad cow, Ebola, whatever, all the bullshit ones, they just go. So how are they going to, put the vaccine or get people to take the vaccine if it's gone? I might have caught this virus. It was just a cough, but it's gone. I don't need your fucking vaccine. So that's why this second wave is going to come back in. That's going to drag things on again and again to the point that the people are going to say, fuck, we need this vaccine. Come on, give it to me.
Well, Pete, this second wave is going to be worse in terms of a lockdown because really, I mean, if you imagine now, the economy is already destroyed anyway, everywhere pretty much, okay? Second time around, it's going to be devastating. Already, there's been a breakdown in the food chain, okay? We've seen it before where there were food shortages. At the moment now, if you want fish, when you go to, are you okay, mate?
He's just coughing some COVID up.
I should have muted. Sorry.
I'm personally seeing food shortages in certain foods when I'm going shopping, and I'm seeing food inflation. My view is what I'm getting at. I'm recommending everybody stock up on food, honestly, for longer term, because there's going to be severe shortages and it's going to be expensive, and they're already targeting the meat plants as well. Don't know whether you've seen that, all this COVID in the meat places and the workers have to go home. Yeah, that's obviously going to cause shortages.
Funny. A few weeks ago, there was a spread of cases in a meat factory in Melbourne.
Right.
Because as David Icke says, it's all going to be food shortages. But for you to say everyone to stock up on food is going to be like the toilet paper issue, where it's going to be mad panic. So I wouldn't start telling everyone to stock up on food.
Well, this is only for our viewers.
Yeah, only us guys. That's good.
That toilet paper thing. My brother works for a famous supermarket in the UK, and I asked him about this. He said at no point was there any shortage of toilet paper. They had fucking loads of toilet paper. There was no shortage of toilet paper.
I know someone who works.
Obviously, once one thing starts to be missing off the shelf, idiots then start thinking, "Oh fucking hell, what else is going?" And then pasta went missing. I mean, it's just barking mad.
I mean, hand sanitizers. Who the fuck would want to buy that shit? Do you wash your hands every 20 minutes?
No, mate. Got no time for that.
I have to say yes because I'm a nurse. So yeah.
Oh, okay. But you could save buying hand sanitizer now by just going to these stores, because every one of them has got the fucking bottle. When you walk in, just wash your hand, go to the next one, and that saves a few bucks on hand sanitizer.
But I just want to add in something from what I see. They've obviously eased the lockdown here in the UK, but there's two aspects of life, or two things that are still under lockdown. Anyone want to guess what they are?
Sorry again, Mohammed.
They've eased everything else down, but there's two aspects that they haven't. Two gyms and places of worship. So they're affecting our physical well-being and our spiritual well-being. Even though everything else has been eased down, these two things affect us. I mean, even if you're not religious, you do some physical activity. Most people do anyway. I mean, these things will obviously affect us physically and mentally.
They kept off licenses open in the UK to keep us dumbed down, though.
Sorry, what was that?
They kept off licenses open during the lockdown, so they shut gyms.
Yeah,
to keep you healthy, but kept off licenses open.
Absolutely.
They're not essential.
It's a war on us. It's a war on humanity. You can see it's so obvious if you only want to really think about it. They say they've opened up places of worship, but only for individual worship. Okay. Now, as a Muslim, when we go to our place of worship, it's a congregation. It's a large gathering, and we stand shoulder to shoulder. We pray shoulder to shoulder. Okay, I mean that's not even possible anymore. And
that's
you can't.
not what they want.
Exactly. And you can't have a gathering of more than 30 people anywhere, whether it's a wedding or a place of, or anything. And you know, I'm looking at it from an Asian or Muslim point of view. Asians have huge weddings. You know, I mean, there's normally like hundreds of people that are invited to the weddings. And even going for Friday prayers, for example, every Friday we have our prayers. Everybody, the whole community goes. I mean, there's hundreds of people there in the masjid, but there's no possibility of that now. It's not. That's it. It's finished.
I thought places of worship were opening from the 4th of July for services.
I don't know, but you can't have. It's for individual prayers. That's what I know. Okay, only individual, and you can't have a gathering of more than 30 people.
I heard the 30 people thing.
You're telling me at weddings, 30 people only. Is that the lowest figure it's been?
That's the maximum you're allowed to have.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Is that the lowest number maximum that you've had?
So I don't know what you mean by that.
You were allowed to have 10 people at weddings. As far as I was aware, weddings were cancelled. You couldn't have a wedding. You
can now from the 4th of July.
You can from the 4th of July.
The new rule.
You could have 10 people at a funeral during the lockdown.
Right.
We had 10 at a funeral and 5 at weddings. 5 at weddings.
So the bride, the groom, the person doing it, witnesses, that's it then, isn't it? That's
you can't have your mother and father there, or your brothers and sisters, or
it's just
you'd have to zoom them in, wouldn't you? Have them on the old Zoom chat.
But what's it going to take? I ask you guys that. What's it going to take for people to say enough is fucking enough? I'm not going to put up with this shit anymore. Like you said, the worship. That's one thing I've sort of forgotten. How dare they not allow people to worship? And why aren't these people, the religious people, coming up and saying, come on?
Because, Pete, I think most people, like we've said before, most people are sheep. I mean, I'm coming across religious people, I'm coming across doctors who are going with the narrative. They're all asleep. I'm not coming across enough awake people. And what it's going to take for things to change is people need to go out en masse and demonstrate. And that's not happening.
Well, that was tried. That was tried in Britain. They tried to protest the lockdown. Piers Corbyn in the UK.
Right. Yes.
The week before George Floyd was killed,
they took.
He went out and protested. He's now been charged with 2 charges of breaking the coronavirus legislation, and people were hailing shit down on him for these lockdown protests. Yeah. And then obviously the subsequent protests, the Black Lives Matter protests. And all the hypocrites are saying nothing about it. I'm not saying one way or the other. I agree with people's right to assemble and to peacefully protest. I agree with that. It's fine. But there was a lot of hypocrisy there. A lot of hypocrisy, and that just that alone tells us.
Well, you know,
we're fighting a losing battle.
You've got to be really careful though, because there's legislation where they can lock you up and say that you're mental, put you in a lunatic asylum, and say this guy's screwed up. There's something not right in his head. Need to put him away for his own good. You know. Well,
didn't that happen to you, Peter, over Burke Street?
They arrested me, and when I was in the police station, the only interview I had was with 2 mental health people, and they made me do it again the next day.
When was this, Pete?
February 2017.
Right.
After Burke Street, because I spoke up about it and they had to silence me.
Yeah. There was a case a couple of months ago, a lady solicitor in Germany, quite well up, and she challenged the government saying, look, you're taking our rights away, etc. And she was quite she put all these legal things in front of whatever, okay? And they ended up locking her up. She's not to be seen anymore. They locked her up. That she's mental.
I think as long as people only get their news from the mainstream media, which is just a one-way street, as long as people are getting their news from there, that tell them that everything is the way it should be. Don't question 5G. Am I allowed to say 5G, Peekay? Or am I allowed to?
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
4+1 golf. 4+1 golf. You know, don't question that. Or you might, and the problem is, this is why you have forums and platforms like this, because the media don't question anything, and that's why you end up with batshit crazy conspiracy theorists like us. As long as we've got the media we've got, nothing will change.
Talking about that new 5G or whatever, they're saying that with the second wave, that there will be people that will be affected because they're going to switch the satellites on this autumn to start up the 5G in a lot of countries.
So they say, but 5G has taken a back step to all the Black Lives Matter shit. It's really taken a back step, and no one really knows what's happening. It's been turned on here near my place 2-3 weeks ago. I don't know. I haven't noticed anything. I've switched my phone back to 3G. I don't need 5G. But who knows what will happen?
Have you seen any 5G transmitters in your area? Both of you? No, neither me.
Apparently, one was torched in Birmingham somewhere, but I don't know where.
They caught the guy. They got him, and he's been sentenced as well.
Yeah.
He's been given a prison sentence of a few years for doing that.
Well, so, you can't go around setting fire to things. But
no, obviously not.
If the conversation, if the debate is quashed, this is what people will go out and do. And the media are just quashing that debate about 5G, and you know.
Well, the good thing about it, if the whole world wakes up that it is harmful, and you know, we can easily quickly pull them down. So that's one good thing.
That's a big if, Pete. That's a big if.
I'm dreaming a lot lately, just if this and if that, because I just cannot see.
Personally, I think there's a lot of big trouble coming on the horizon, honestly, and I'm not being pessimistic deliberately. I'm a positive man, but I can only see things really getting bad, big time. If we really think about it now, I mean, this lockdown, they've obviously done the lockdown and it's created some real issues. It's destroyed the economy. People have died from it for the consequential effects of it. Do you really think that they're going to let go of this in a month or two? There's not a chance. They're just going to make it worse. This is the start of it. And you know what bugs me is that we've got international flights that are stopped. No one can get anywhere. I mean, that's really not about the virus. There's something else. They just want to stop people from going anywhere because I think something big's planned.
They don't want our lives to be normal social interaction because, like we're here, the three of us here, we're talking about this shit, but they don't want me going to my next door neighbour even and talking about this shit.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what. And while you're locked down, what are you doing? You're watching the freaking TV all day and night. And what are you going to get from that?
Well, you're going to be programmed, aren't you? Brainwashed.
It is. I don't listen to the radio or the TV, but when I do, it's every second word. Doesn't matter if
I tell you what, when I listen to the TV, the news, it makes me sick.
It makes me sick.
Switch it off.
Well, you know what? I just sometimes if I go and visit my mum, she's got it on all the time. All right. So, I'll have a listen then. And it's sort of thinking, hang on, let's see what they're lying about now. Okay. And the lies are huge. They're humongous lies. Unimaginable. I mean, you think, how the heck are they making this shit up? And you can see how much they're lying. And Mickey, since you've woken up, like I said earlier, you see more and more now. Everything is, you question everything, don't you? And you see more.
Like was it the Truman Show? You feel like you're living in some sort of alternate reality, you know, and it can affect conversations that you have with people. It affects the way people react to you as well.
Exactly.
So for a long time, I just don't mention it to people. I just don't get involved in conversations. But since the coronavirus, you can't help but get involved in conversations about it. Oh, Tom,
do you hear us tonight? Tom's gone again.
He had problems last week, didn't he?
He did have problems last week. Anyway, Tom.
I'll tell you what I'm worried about as well is the future, because the kids today, I mean, I go out running a lot, and you can see kids now being conditioned at the start of the lockdown. Parents see you running towards them, they just drag the kids out of the way. I've seen parents dragging their kids by their arms. Get out of the way, you know, get out of the way, this guy, he's full of COVID. Now they don't need to do that. The kids are conditioned to run away. And these are now, you know, the future doctors, nurses, police.
I can't imagine
what's that future going to be like.
I can't imagine this in 2-3 years' time still going on, you know, the social distancing and kids in their little circles at school. I just cannot imagine. Anyway, a question to you guys. As regards being tested for COVID, have you had any reason to be tested?
Nope. I wouldn't get tested.
Well, you know what's happening here in Victoria.
I'll tell you something. I had the flu last winter, which was last November, December here. And anyway, I don't know what I went in for. And I think, it was a cough. I couldn't get rid of this cough. It was really bad. I went in for that. The doctor said, and this is before all this corona rubbish, okay? So he said, go and have a blood test anyway. So not questioning anything, I went and had the blood test. That was back in November last year. And then in February, so I'd recovered from it, all okay, no problem. After a couple of weeks, I was back to normal. In February, they sent me a letter saying that you should come in for a second blood test. And I shredded that letter. I'm not going in for no more blood, especially with all this shit that's going on.
I would avoid hospitals at all costs.
Exactly.
At the moment.
So, you know, that's my story then. I don't know what they would have wanted to sort of put on me and say, well, you've got this virus and it's in your system and we need to hospitalize you or whatever.
The other thing they want to do is they're opening pubs in the UK, but when you go to a pub, you're going to have to give your details to the pub.
Yes.
Your name, your address, your phone number, and all the people you live with, even if they're not at the pub.
No,
I don't even know how that's going to be. I don't even know how that's. I mean, I'm done with pubs if that's the case. Not a problem. I can do without it.
The pub.
Fuck the pubs. But
well, I mean, how
I don't even know.
Pubs and restaurants and so on, how are they going to survive? You know,
who's going to manage it? What staff member in a pub is going to manage that?
That's right. Every one of these pubs and hotels or whatever clubs, they need extra staff just to do this bullshit. And you know, they're going to get sick of it. What are they going to do with all these names? I thought it was voluntary.
Well, this is it. How are your details going to be stored? How long for? Is it secure? Who's got access to these details?
Sorry.
Mickey Mouse. They're not going to know. They're not going to ask for your ID. Sorry, I don't have a car license. My name's Mickey Mouse from fucking Disneyland. See you later.
It's not just that though. I mean, it's another way to destroy people's businesses as well.
Yeah, that's what they want. They want that.
Exactly.
But I just want to bring up quickly what's happening here this week in Victoria. Like I said in my videos, we haven't had a death in Australia for 1 month. It's stuck on 102. Just so happens today there's a Victorian, an 80-year-old plus that dies. Of course, he's going to be 80 or 90. But people are actually driving their cars to these testing. They're everywhere, apparently, drive-in test things, and they're queuing up for 4 hours. So that brings what I said before, if people are going to do that, bring the vaccine. They'll be queuing up at 1 a.m. in the morning for the vaccine.
Yeah.
And it was proven when the swine flu came out, people were queuing up outside of places at 3 a.m. in the morning. The mentality of people is beyond me. So all this testing, of course, you're going to get extra cases, but as I keep pointing out, the testing is a heap of shit. And I made a video just before. A supposed footballer from Ireland came back to Australia on his break, negative, because they're tested every bloody day, the footballers. All of a sudden, he got a test last Friday, which was mild. I didn't know that you could test for mild or mild, but he was mild. So the football club said, oh, he's not too bad. So we'll have him next morning training with the boys. Their game was the following Sunday. And the big news, tested positive. And they called that game off. But guess what? 3 days later, he's tested negative again. So that just proves 100% negative, mild, 3 days later, positive. Mild, positive, 3 days later, negative. Fucking bullshit. I say the tests don't even happen. They get these swabs, put them in bags, pretend to send them up to pathology. They just dump them in the big bin at the back. They just got their numbers. If they feel someone, Novak Djokovic, we'll get to that in a second. They want someone.
I like that. Novak.
I'll get to that in a second. Sorry, I know this is your show, guys, but yeah, if they want someone to be positive, they will make someone positive. You know, because they want cases. But you don't want to overdo the cases unless you get killings, deaths. And you can't stage too many deaths. So they've got that, quandary. So that's how it works. You don't want 1 million cases and 0 deaths because some people will say, shit, this is bullshit, 99.999% mortality rate. So they fudge the figures to suit them. And if you haven't seen my video on this, Vietnam has 97 million people. It borders China, and it's got fucking 0 deaths. What the hell is Vietnam doing better than United States, who we would have imagined would have the best healthcare service in the world, better than Great Britain, number 3, even Australia. Vietnam? I'm sorry, I've never been there. They say it's a lovely place, but I could not imagine the hygiene to be as good as the Western countries. 0 deaths, and there's 672 people per square mile as opposed to Australia, which is about 5. So are they practicing social distancing? No. What about Macau? In China, I'll just read this out to you. Population of 670,000 people. I'll finish in a minute. 0 deaths. 0 deaths. And they've got 73,000 people per square mile. You're telling me social distancing works there? Bullshit. Sorry, Mickey. Go for it.
No problem, mate. I agree. I was in Vietnam 3 years ago. It's a busy old place. There's fucking people everywhere. Great place, though. It is a great place. Guys, I've got to go because I've got to get back to work. I just want to say it's been brilliant talking to people with some fucking common sense. Thanks very much for letting me on, and take care. And hopefully I'll jump back on another week, Peter, if that's okay.
Yeah, fantastic.
Just to talk to somebody who...
Well,
take care, guys. Take care, everybody on chat. Sorry, I've got to go, but I've got to get back to work.
No worries, Mickey. Everyone in chat, I'm sure, I can say round of applause. Well done, Mickey. It's just quickly, this is the first time you've been on a show?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's what it's all about. I want you guys up. It's not about me or anyone else. It's about everyone. I hate the term, we're all in this together, but in this shit, we're all in this together. So,
yeah.
Thanks, mate.
I just want to end it as well here. We might as well all end it here. Peekay, I can sense some real frustration in your voice today, especially from your videos that you've put up. Don't let it get to you, mates. I think it's getting to you now personally, so calm down. Seriously.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. It's look. Maybe it's the David Icke video that I watched last night. 3 and a bit.
What was it on his website?
No,
I'm going, guys. Take care. I'll
Alright,
see
bye.
you again soon. All the best.
if you go on BitChute, I think it's on BitChute. Just type David Icke and you'll get it. It's his fourth show he did just a few days ago with London Real, and it's massive, just like the other three he's done. And I don't know, I think that's sort of listening to that, and all the other times I've watched this, I watch it in bed on the screen next to me, and I think that's what depresses me.
I haven't seen it, so I'm perhaps why I'm a bit more positive today. But
watch his stuff. But
you know what? It's called information overload.
Exactly.
We overload ourselves, and it's from everywhere. I mean, remember, we've got these devices, we've got these social media apps, and you're seeing the whole world in a window, aren't you? And there's just too much happening. I think we're not designed for it.
I agree. And like you said before, it's going to get worse, and that's what worries me.
It is, my friend. It is, and I think just get ready. That's all we can do. Prepare. That's all, because it's not going to get any better. And thanks for having us on again. It's been great chatting. And it's bloody roasting here today, mate. It's so hot in here. I need to get out in the garden.
Well, it's bloody cold in here. Well, when I say cold, we don't get, it's probably 10, 12 degrees, but
yeah,
that's cold for us. That's probably a warm spring day for you, but it's bloody cold here.
It's actually about 28, 30 here today, which is, it's good going for here,
That's just a warm day. That's pretty good. Not enough to go to the beach or take your shirt off. It's what you're born with, what you're used to. But anyway, Mohammed.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, it's been an hour, so we'll stick to an hour.
Yeah, it's about right.
Till next week, I don't know what's going to happen.
All right, bye-bye now.
Yep. All right. Catch you, mate. And on that note, everyone in chat, just quickly, I haven't really been looking at it. If there's any questions anyone right now would want to quickly ask me? Tracy, how's it going? Do you ever want to come on, Tracy? The opportunity's there. Anyone? Pyman, I'll see you next Wednesday, not Tuesday. All right, thanks, everyone. Yeah, it was good that we had an extra guy in, and we've had Mohammed before. He was on the first show. Very informative, and it's good to, get opinions of a broad range of people. And maybe, I'm not sure, I might have to do a show at a different time. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I need to get all the people from the United States involved. It might have to be like a Sunday morning here, which is, I don't know, late American time. But anyway, the problem is we can't please all three places. I mean, when I say three, United States, Britain, and Australia. Always one is going to, cop the short straw. But anyway. All right, Tracy, whenever you're feeling okay to come on, it would be good to hear you. Thanks, guys. 10 o'clock here. St. George, deadliest virus in Melbourne. Yeah, I hope you're not in one of those clusters or hotspots where I am. It's terrible. Supposedly someone tested positive, so I'm in a hotspot now, and I'm not allowed to drive to another unhot spot, a cool spot. It's so fucking pathetic, honestly. Yeah, thanks, Tracy. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks, Pyman. Everyone, yeah, keep well and Yeah, we'll get through this shit somehow. I don't know. We just gotta stick with it. Like, as you know, it's doing my head in, and it's obviously going to, be doing a lot of other people's heads in. But hopefully the sheeple, who are our biggest problem, hopefully they could get, be woken up soon, and some catastrophic event happens that it'll, wake up all the sheeple, because that's what we need. If it wasn't for the sheeple, this wouldn't be happening. But anyway, I don't want to put people down. I used to be sheeple. We were all sheeple once, but wow. Once you sort of get out of that, once you wake up, there's no going back. There's no going back, even though, sometimes you wish you want to go back and you don't know about all this shit and better off not knowing about it. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on. I hopefully see you guys next week. Just want to mention, I did a show on Saturday morning with James Fetzer. Hopefully I'll have that on my channel soon. It went pretty well. And I did a radio show yesterday afternoon, the 3-hour show. I'm not sure if I can actually get that, but it was a show in America. I think it's called Midnight in the Desert. It was taken over from that Caravan, the Midnight radio show. So maybe that'll be on. I'm not sure, but check it out. It'll be on Peekay Censored. So if you've got nothing better to do while you're in lockdown, there's something to listen to. Anyway, nighty-night, everyone. And I will see you next week, if not beforehand. Cheers, everyone.